Hello, I'm Loli. Did that sound natural? I don't know. Anyway, this is me, and this is my unicorn that I like. I like unicorns. How about that? Maybe I should start every video like this. I like unicorns. Anyway, they're doing a renovation outside, so it might be really loud. I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it. I want to make a video now about two things. The first one being something that I got wrong. The second one being people that I don't want on this channel. And that could kind of mean you. So, we have to find out. What did I get wrong? Remember that video about Nathan Rich, my man, Nathan Rich, that I made a few days ago? I was basically fact checking him in that video, right? It turns out that I was fact checked myself by some other people in the comments. And they found something that I got wrong. And when they pointed it out to me, I was like, that can't be, come on, what are you talking about? This is me, Lole. I don't get shit wrong, ever. Of course I do. Not just this time, but also this time. And this time I want to talk about it. I want to tell you about it because I think it's interesting. So, what did I get wrong? I don't know if you remember, but in that video I made a claim. I said the Chinese national anthem, it was connected to the CCP, to the Communist Party of China, or to the PLA, to the People's Liberation Army, which is kind of the same thing. I even based a point on that claim. The problem is that claim was just wrong, was just not correct. And I don't know what happened there. Like, maybe there was a misunderstanding on your part, on my part, on someone else's part, or like I was taken out of context. I didn't really mean it that way. Or how about this one? It was debatable. Like, you can read it either way. I wasn't really wrong, or I was drunk. I didn't know what I was saying, or best one, somebody hacked into my account pretending to be me and they made this video and it wasn't really me. I like that one best, but none of these apply. I was looking for an excuse, but there is no excuse. It was me. I wasn't drunk. I was just making a statement that was factually untrue. Now, I don't know why. And it's even more embarrassing because I started studying China studies, sinology, in university in 2003. I don't know what you were doing in 2003, but that was a long time ago. And I got a proper degree. I went to China, I lived there. My Chinese is pretty good at this point. And all these years, 17 years, I've been kind of focused on China. Like, I read about it, I find out about it, I study it. So like, why in hell have I never bothered to look up that stupid anthem? Like, who wrote it? What is it about? What's the whole context of it? Why? I've been thinking about this. What happened there? I think, sure, I was lazy. I am lazy, sure. Also, I think it's a hideous song, obviously. But I think what actually happened is more interesting, and that's why I want to share it. I think what happened is I had a first impression of that anthem. Then I kind of made up my mind about it. And then I assumed that to be true without ever checking if it was actually true. So when you hear it the first time, and you can't not hear it when you're in China, it's the anthem. You notice like the general gist of it. It's like, it starts with 起来, you should get up. Who should get up? The Chinese people. So it's like this nationalistic thing, don't be oppressed anymore, get up. And then it ends with 前进, forward. It's like a marching order. Like the Chinese people, they should, there should be progress or something. So I was basically, like right off the bat, I was assuming, okay, this must be a red song. Like, what else can it be? It must be some Communist Party propaganda about like, national rejuvenation or like getting up, this kind of stuff forward. It can only be that. It can't be anything else. Thing is, it is something else. It's not connected to the CCP or the PLA. It's from the Chinese resistance against the Japanese aggression in the 1930s. It's not connected directly, at least, to the CCP or the PLA. It's just not. So I was making a statement that was just wrong. And I think it's more interesting because I was making a statement in a context where I was accusing my man, Nathan Rich, of the exact same thing. That was the whole point of my video, was saying you shouldn't base your points on assumptions that you've never bothered to check, which are untrue. Right? That's Nathan Rich's problem, part of his problem, aside from looking like a penis, obviously. But I was making the exact same mistake. I was guilty of the exact same thing. And I just think that's fascinating. Like really, it's really embarrassing for me. I'm like a dummy in this scenario, but you know what happens? It says something about the quality of my channel. Like not as good as I would like it to be. It says something about the quality of the discourse. I think it kind of describes the pitfall, or one of the pitfalls of commenting on anything really. It's just really easy to say, what I assume to be true must be true. I'm not going to bother to check. And then I will base other assumptions on this factually untrue assumption. But anyway, that's what I got wrong. If you find out more things that I got wrong, you're welcome to share them with me, point them out in the comments or whatever. I will probably try to deflect and be like, well, that's debatable. I wasn't really wrong. I didn't mean it that way. I was drunk or somebody hacked into my account. I will probably go that way. But maybe in the back of my mind, I will be happy and be like, well, thanks for pointing that out, because it's good to learn, right? So the other thing I want to talk about is people I don't want on this channel. And it's a little bit more complicated. I don't know how well you know this channel, but maybe you just got here. There's a shit ton of content. It's like a lot of videos. It's a pretty old channel, actually. I started on some Chinese social media until they kicked me off of those social media. The channel was was exclusively Chinese for a long time. It was just me talking into my phone. No, I don't know. I don't dress up. I don't put on makeup. I don't do editing or whatever. It's just kind of me talking into the phone, and then I upload it. I talk about something, maybe I crack some jokes or whatever, and I see what happens in the comment section. And that was interesting for me. And that was, I hope, interesting for other people to watch. It was just exclusively in Chinese. And then at some point I started doing interviews with people, like on Zoom, and I would upload those interviews. And I realized that if I'm talking to a German person, it doesn't really make sense to talk to them in Chinese. It's like two German dudes duking it out in Chinese, We are better at German. And so I would make that interview in German. And then I talk to American people in my interviews, and I figured both of our English is better than our Chinese. So, this is going to be the best tool to communicate. So we're going to use this tool. And so these other languages crept into this channel. And with those languages, new people, right? And then I made this video about my man, Nathan Rich, exclusively in English because, actually for his benefit, because the poor guy doesn't really speak Chinese that well, or at least that's what it seems like. And then again, people that speak English come into the comments, and that's not a problem. I mean, that's to be anticipated. And most of your comments, I gotta say, I've read through, I think most of them, they're nice. People are thoughtful, they add to the discussion, they fact check me, or they're humorous, or they're kind of encouraging, whatever. Sometimes there's some banter between you guys, which is fun for me to read, or less fun. But there's also disturbing comments. I read them and I'm like, dude, I don't deserve this. Nobody deserves this. I'm not talking about attacks against me. I'm talking about the kind of comment that looks like it's from some 4chan message board, or some very dark corner of Reddit. These people that go yeah, Chris, I agree with everything, but you really don't know how hard it is to be a white person in America right now. White people are so oppressed. I'm like, are you kidding? Do you understand who you're talking to here? What's more white than a German toast bread? Oh, it's not difficult to be white. I've lived in the States. It's not difficult to be white. It's not difficult to be white. It's not difficult to be Christian. It's not difficult to be straight. And it's definitely not difficult to be a dude. I'm sorry, but you guys got to stop whining. I realize that there's a lot of emancipatory movements, and that seems threatening. I understand that. I understand that on the fringes of those movements, there might even be people that go well, I don't like white people, or I don't like Christian people. I don't like straight people, or the worst, I don't like dudes. They exist, but come on, don't be so whiny. They don't represent the majority or anything. I mean, just as a proof, look at the president right now that everybody's so happy about, that the left that don't like you. Who are they happy about right now? Biden. Who is Biden? Is he white? Pretty much. Christian? I assume so. Straight? Seems like it. Dude? Yeah. Any problem? No problem. So really, like these kind of crypto white supremacist comments, or like even if you mean them in a jokey way, like this trolling stuff, like you say, oh, it's okay to be white. I just want to see people get mad about my comment when I write shit like it's okay to be white. Get the fuck out of my channel. Like, or I'm gonna put it very politely. Me, Lole, Chris, whatever. Me and my unicorn, we don't want you here. Go to your safe space. Go to Ben Shapiro. Go to Jordan Peterson. Go to some other fucking bullshit corner of the internet where you can whine about, oh, it's so difficult to be white. It's so difficult to be a dude. These things are not difficult. Like really, I don't want you here. If you're a Trumpist, by the way, at this point, I don't want you here. Really, not after 4 years of that shit, and certainly not after what happened at the Capitol. You're not welcome here. I'm gonna block you. I might even insult you a little bit, or your uncle, and then you're gone. On a side note, there's a difference between Chinese Trumpists who are annoying as hell and Trumpists from, let's say, liberal democracies. Not just America, but like any place that's a liberal democracy. The Chinese Trumpists, at least I can kind of understand where they're coming from. If you don't know, I will tell it to you. So, most people in China, the majority, nobody knows exactly how many, but let's say a large part, they're actually not unhappy with the political system or the government. If anybody else is telling you otherwise, they're just bullshitting you. Many people in China, they're thinking, look, it's stable. There is economical advancement, and, you know, no place is perfect. And at least we're not Syria. So these people are trying very hard not to be political, maybe even a bit proud of their country. And at the same time, they're thinking, well, while this is going on, I will make as much money as possible, and I will move a little bit of my money and maybe my family outside just in case. That's really a lot of Chinese people. They're not interested in engaging in some sort of a discourse about politics, especially not with us, outside of the Great Firewall. No. Now, there's also many Chinese people that are unhappy, that think like, it's the 21st century, why are we kind of like a Western North Korea? What's going on here? And then these people, either physically by moving or virtually by getting a VPN, they get outside of that Great Firewall, and then they see the world outside. Maybe in a liberal democracy, maybe in America, Canada, Europe, whatever. Many of these people, the first thing that they see, that they notice, is that the governments of these liberal democracies, that they are not very anti-CCP, anti-Communist Party of China. Like they don't speak very harshly about the CCP. They're polite. They even make trade agreements with them. So like, what's happening there? What about those values? What did I come outside here for if you guys are kind of with them? And then they see a person like Trump, and they really don't care much about Trump. His antics, his racism, his misogyny, all these things, they don't care about that. For them, what they see is, here, finally, is a politician from the West, and this guy is really giving it to the CCP. Like, you know, he's really talking shit about them. I like this. This guy finally is a guy that I can get behind. If they were voters, you would call them single issue voters. For them, the only thing that is important is that this guy is anti-CCP. So they kind of focus on him, and then they go down the rabbit hole. They will get all kinds of Trumpist media. They will get Falun Gong media. They will get Gui media. If you don't know these media, better for you. But they will go all the way down and become hardcore Trumpists, because that's all they care about, that Trump is saying, well, you know, fuck China. It's kind of understandable. They annoy the shit out of me. But at least I kind of see where they're coming from. But if you have the privilege, like me, of being born and raised and educated in a liberal democracy, America, Germany, Canada, whatever, however imperfect they might be, I don't understand where you're coming from. Like, honestly, I just think you're an obnoxious little whiny asshole. And I don't want you on my channel. So there's that. I want to end this video on a nice note. Yeah, yay to unicorns. How about that? And I was thinking maybe I will make more English content, and I was thinking about a thing that is actually valuable for me to do. I will try to make a video about how you can get informed and stay informed on China if you don't know Chinese, because I think it's kind of difficult. And I think, yeah, and this thing, if I made a video like that, it would be good. So that's what you can look forward to or not. Peace.